Thank you for joining us. We're just sorting out the pin so you know what we're talking about, which is always helpful.
Very important. Hi, so today we are unboxing the second half of the New Man Discovery box. So let me just do that. It's so we went through the other half last week. There's a whopping 13 cents. It's our latest men's
huge.
Box. Hello, Candy Perfume Boy.
Hi.
So we're going through the other half of the scents basically because there were so many in it that we didn't want to just cover it in one.
There was just no time.
And so I think we can kind of get started.
Let's get dug in.
All right, so FYI to anyone joining, it's the New Man Discovery Box, and you can click the link in our bio on Instagram to see the product and read all about it and also purchase. So first up, we have Bois de Atrium by the newly renamed Goo Towel, which used to be Unique Goo Towel.
I'm sure you all have heard of them. So they've basically rebranded. It's Unique Goo Towel's daughter, Camille, who's now at the helm. And the bottles are slightly different. They're still recognisable, I'd say.
Yeah, but they're just very slick, very
chic,
clean and chic. They've just had a kind of rebrand, and I think it's really, really stylish. And so basically, this is
basically a modern retake on one of their original best-selling fragrances, which was L'Eau d'Atrium, which I think is probably one of the best-selling citrus fresh fragrances ever.
Yeah, it's a super big niche fragrance. Yeah. You will have noticed it.
Really popular for men and women. Let's have a smell. Oh yeah, this is much more complex. I think it's much more recognisable when you first spray it. It's that citrus freshness, but there's a lot more wood in this one. It's much more
this one's it's really soothing.
Deeper.
It's a little bit herbaceous. It's kind of it's quite round. So not, I wouldn't say creamy, but it's quite smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the wood in it. There's some cypress in there. There's also a piney note. I don't know if you can pick that up.
Yeah,
it's that kind of freshness. So it's not just lemon, it's not just citrus. There's a lot more going on in this.
It's a very interesting men's fragrance, actually. I really like that, and I would wear it as well.
Totally.
I think
it's the perfect thing for a really hot day. But you still want something that's noticeable. You don't just want to smell clean and fresh.
I'd say it's quite a good day to night, actually. Like a kind of transformer, I think.
Much more than the original, I'd say. Which is, I would say, your classic.
Oh, it's super bright, fresh, you can't get away from it. I think this softens to something kind of more evening appropriate, maybe, and a bit more woodsy and stuff. It's nice, very nice.
Still very clean.
Yeah, very clean, very clean.
I love it.
I'm a big fan of that one, actually. And also just a big fan of the Unique Goo Towel range. In fact, the brand, I think, is really lovely. If you haven't checked them out, do. I think they're in quite a lot of department stores which don't sell maybe as much niche. But yeah.
They're one of those brands, I think, that are more easy to get than some of the brands, certainly ones that we have in our discovery boxes, which tend to be more on the niche side. And they can be really difficult to find. So if you want to go and smell this on your own skin, you can. But that's why we do these boxes, so that you can try it at home and you can learn to live with it.
Yeah, try them in your own time. Try them on your skin. Try them,
There's no shortcuts.
The next day. I think so often I smell a fragrance and I initially have that kind of jerk reaction and I smell it and I'm like, oh no, I don't like that. But then I'll maybe go back to it, or I'll smell it on someone else and then kind of go back to it and revisit it and actually find that I do really like it, that I just haven't been in the right mood, or I haven't given it enough space, or I don't know, there's a whole world of things that can kind of interfere with you liking a scent, maybe.
Yeah, perfumes were made to be worn on the skin. So if we're smelling them on blotters today, which is what most people do if they go into a shop, or you just quickly spritz it on your arm and you maybe cover it with 10 others, and then by the time you get home you can't remember what you've smelled. So firstly, we always write, this is going to be back to front, we always write the name on the blotter, top tip, because you will forget, and the one that you like best will just be a fleeting memory and you'll never find it again. No. That's happened to me so many times.
It's the problem with buying them at the airport.
Yes, so true. So with these boxes, you have time to explore them and time to really see if they suit you and to try them on your skin, which is how perfumes are meant to be worn.
And then all the ones that, whenever I get one, if I don't like any samples, I just like give them either to like my mum or like to my friends or to my dad, or just keep them as stocking fillers or like, you know, Secret Santa kind of gifts and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. All right.
So that was Goo Towel Bois d'Adrien.
Oh, that always happens to me, the beauty conversation. We feel your pain.
Oh, yes, we do. We're not the only ones.
Okay, next up we're going to smell Extreme Speed by Michael Kors, which is really, really nice, actually. I'm a big fan of this one. And I think that the bottle, I mean, I think actually Michael Kors as a brand, they do they're kind of quite mainstream, you know, you can find them everywhere, and they're kind of very wearable, you know, they're not offensive or anything, but I think that they are very interesting.
They are.
For a commercial brand.
Far more interesting than they need to be.
Yeah, exactly. Because, they give a lot of thought to their fragrances, which I really appreciate, basically.
You could just slap a designer name on a bottle and people would still buy it if they like that brand or the bottle looks cool. But at the end of the day, the fragrance has got to smell really good. Yeah. And Michael Kors definitely take their time.
Yeah, and I really love this bottle. I don't know whether you can see that, but it kind of like the light it goes through, it's like a kind of indigo. It's really lovely, really pretty.
That's really interesting. I'm guessing, is there cinnamon in this?
Yeah,
something spicy.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of cardamom as well in the top, which is quite nice. But
almost like a chai tea kind of a note.
Yeah,
but not sweet.
Yeah, and they've got violet wood, which is like it's kind of just a soft wood basically. It's not as hard maybe as cedar wood or anything like that. Hi everyone that's joining, by the way. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're always really so pleased to see the names rolling up, because if it was just us, we could sit here and talk to ourselves. Yeah. But it's so much nicer to have friends.
See this.
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say it's very wearable. It's quite creamy.
Yes, I was gonna say creamy. I'm definitely getting creamy.
Spicy.
Not vanilla creamy.
No, but I think that's from the soft wood. I think that's from the violet wood, basically.
There is a slight floral note to it, but it's not. I know what they mean by violet wood. I guess that's an accord that they use,
it's just
an
accord
and violet.
It's a very soft. Yeah, it's a powdery wood basically. And so it's quite herbaceous at the top. It's like a little bit spicy. There's some sage and coriander, cinnamon and cardamom and that's cypress again. So that's quite like green. And
I think this is really unusual, because with those notes, if you saw those notes written down, you'd imagine that it smells like quite a traditional fougere.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It doesn't at all. And this is why you cannot just go by a list of notes. It's always really tempting to just look up the notes and go, oh, I like that, or I won't. And it's maybe a slight indication, but you should never go by the notes alone. Never just look at the notes,
because you can never ever like just quantify it. It's like how much there is of something. Like you can say there can be like 50 ingredients in a perfume, but it will be like one heavy, you know. And it's like you can't just say, oh, it's got this plethora of ingredients, because it's like how do I imagine that? Yeah, it's very confusing actually. Like
really
I think
confusing.
For people, it's like, you know, you should say that. Preferred for day wear. I would say this is quite a good day tonight, actually. I would say it's good in the day, but I'd say it kind of maybe leans
it's not too strong. It's not an overpowering fragrance. It's not going to walk into the room 5 minutes before you do. So you could wear it for work easily.
Is it an EDT? Sorry, I'm just trying to find that out.
We will find that out for you.
Yes, it's an eau de toilette. It's an eau de toilette, but I have actually tried it on the skin, and it does last quite a while. But a good way to try that is, I mean, just buy the box and try it out on yours, because I have to say there are some things, especially having ginger hair, I don't know whether it affects it, but there are some things that just do not last on me, and then other things will last all day. And then also it can just be like maybe that your skin's dry, or like that you need to put on a moisturiser or something like that.
Yeah, if you're finding that fragrances don't last very well on your skin, definitely you could try layering with a matching shower gel if they have one in the range. Or definitely put a body lotion or body oil on.
Just like an unscented body lotion will make your scent last like twice as long anyway.
That is lovely. I think I would wear that, actually.
Thank you for doing this live show. Oh, thank you for following. It's so nice to hear that. We're really glad.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm loving that.
I'd say that's a firm win for me. I really love that one.
It's one of those ones that smells like the colour of the bottle as well. It does. It's that dark, but there's a lightness to it.
Like a brightness coming through. It's kind of quite...
indigo.
Like come hithery. What? Sorry?
We've got the bottle.
Yes.
We have got the
bottle. Come hithery. Okay, what should we smell next? Should we go on to Alien Man?
Alien Man, yes.
This is
why
a
not?
much anticipated launch. Layering is definitely key. We couldn't agree more, Leanne.
It certainly is, Leanne.
It certainly is. Okay, so now we're going to smell Alien Man from Mugler.
This is just released. It's
just come out, brand new.
It's the first male fragrance in the Alien range, and I'm sure you've heard of or smelt the other aliens, which are kind of iconic. Mugler are known for being very diversifying, if that's a word. Is that a word? It is now. So you either really love Mugler or maybe
a bit of a Marmite.
Until now, maybe, because I feel like this is a bit of a step change for Mugler. It's not what you're quite expecting. Because it's much softer.
Also, to the person asking Kamal, it's an EDT, this one.
So Alien Man we're smelling now from the New Man Discovery Box on the Perfume Society website. And we were just saying, this is just launched. It's very different to a lot of the other aliens. It's much softer, much quieter. When I think of Alien, the original Alien for woman, that is the kind of fragrance that is in your face. You cannot mistake it.
Bold.
It's a character for you. You've got to have a character to go with that fragrance.
It's a statement. It's a statement scent, I'd say.
And this is much more... I guess much more interesting in some ways.
Polarising is the word we were looking for.
I said diversifying. What I meant was polarising. Thank you very much for that.
Alien for men is very safe compared to the rest. Yeah, I mean, just maybe it's a kind of move in a kind of in a softer direction for them, I think, basically.
Yeah, but I think that's good. I know some people would like the same sort of thing all the time and very much along the same lines, but why couldn't they open it out to people who are perhaps put off by that?
It's about changing,
fragrance.
Isn't it? It's about
and there's something for everyone.
Moving as moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
But I love this actually. I think the reason I'm smelling my arm as well is because I sprayed it on my arm to see what it's like. Yeah, there you go. Now it's quite different on the blotter to the arm.
That is a really good point in case, actually.
Quite a good testament to always try on the skin because things just do not. I mean, a blotter is very good, but it just doesn't give you the kind of the fullness of a fragrance, and you won't smell it hours later.
You don't get the full story.
You don't get the full story as well. Yeah, and also, I mean, more than anything, it's important to smell on you because you're going to be wearing it.
Yeah.
So on my skin, this is kind of a lot. It's like a little bit bitter. It's almost like it's coming out the darker notes are coming out sooner.
Yeah.
Whereas on the blotter you get quite a lot of the top notes.
And there's a mistiness to it somehow, I think. There's you can't just smell. You couldn't pick out exactly what was in it. I don't think there's a blendedness to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they say osmanthus, which is it's a white flower. Is it white flower? Is it yellow? It's white flower, but it's kind of got apricot nuances to it as a note. It's a fruity flower basically, and then they use it with this with white amber, which I think kind of softens it and gives it like this depth. And
I think this is going to prove to be a bit like Aura when that came out. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, it's much safer. It's not the Mugler that we know. And now that has gone on to be really successful.
Yeah, Aura's a big success.
Yeah.
It's a wicked scent.
I think you need to wear this. You need to wear this for a full day and see how it changes on your skin. And then you can judge it. Don't just read the notes. Don't just have a quick spray and go, it's not the same.
No.
Wear it for a full day. We challenge you. Get this box and wear it for a full day and then see.
It's got some leather and cashmeran as well at the heart.
The leather's really coming out now.
The leather comes out quite a lot on my skin actually.
Yeah, much more so.
And then I think the cashmeran kind of smooths that over. And then it's got some dill, which is an interesting ingredient in fragrance. I don't really smell. I don't read it often in ingredient notes.
Nope. But, I can't think of.
But they're always quite known for taking using like unusual notes, aren't they? Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. I think that's maybe where the bitterness comes from at the top, and it sort of fades away after a while.
Away.
Interesting. Really interesting. Definitely worth trying.
Okay.
What next?
Oh yeah, also I bought the bottle up for this one because
yeah.
I love the bottle of
It's
aliens.
very cool.
I think they're really, really cool.
Mugler
It's a
just do
grower,
amazing.
Candy Perfume Boy says, and you know what? He is one who can give you a full-on review of them because he is a Mugler diehard fan.
He is part of the Mugler arsenal.
Yeah, look at that bottle. It's I don't even think it comes off that well in this light. It's a glorious bottle basically.
It's gorgeous.
It's quite the beauty.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so next.
What are good perfumes
What
for hot areas?
Hot areas. Ooh.
Well, I would say definitely the Bois d'Atrium, which is one of the first ones we smelled here, which is by Goo Towel, which used to be known as Unique Goo Towel, and this is their new fragrance. That is a great one for a hot area because it's still fresh, but it's still interesting. So it's complex, but it's not going to overpower.
I think with hot places, what you really kind of want is what you really want is like a kind of bright citrus, but with some longevity in there, so that it's not just kind of like this, like ephemeral scent that you spray and then it's kind of gone. You want some depth to it so that you can smell it hours later. Because just because you're in hot weather, like doesn't mean you don't want to smell your fragrance. I think you just want something kind of clean and crisp that has some depth, so like some darker, like heavier notes. So maybe
woods.
I mean something like that. The Michael Kors Extreme Speed would work quite well because it's quite fresh at the top, but then it kind of smooths down to something interesting later.
Yeah.
When I smelt it in the shop, I smelt tobacco. It's probably the leather then. Probably that. I mean, that and the combination of woods maybe is kind of giving the effect of tobacco.
I know what you mean.
But yeah.
There is a slight smokiness on it.
Yeah. And also, like, sometimes it's like the combination of notes. It's like, sometimes I'll smell fig in something and it's not there, but it's like a combination of notes that are giving that kind of like effect of that.
It's like alchemy.
I love Hermes Eau de Citron Noir for hot weather. Yeah, I think that's great too.
That's a great one.
We recently reviewed that in our latest magazine, which is out tomorrow. Today. And
She's so confident.
and I think it's a great scent. I think it's really juicy and then it kind of goes smoky. But yeah, it's an interesting
again, it's
one.
fresh but interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna smell Jimmy Choo Man Blue, and I really like the Jimmy Choo scents. I think that they sell well and they're really wearable and they're just kind of they are a lot of them are like a very kind of sexy man smell is what I call it.
we describe a few things at the Perfume Society. When we smell them we go, that's sexy man smell.
Sexy man smell.
And this is one of those. It's in that category.
Yeah it's like almost smells quite classic in a way. Because it's got like sage and some black pepper and a bit of bergamot at the top, basically.
Yeah, but there's some vanilla there as well. So I think a lot of the Jimmy Choo fragrances have that sort of underlying gourmand note without being really overtly sweet. They've got that character. I think you could smell this and smell the others and say, yes, that belongs in the same group.
I think this is really quite... We're not actually allowed to use this word in the Perfume Society, but I think it's quite sensual. We're not allowed to use it because it's a really overused word.
I think we're allowed to use it once per issue of the Scented Letter magazine.
But this is quite sensual. I think it's quite herbaceous and fresh and like bright at the top maybe. And then it's got something, a note called grey amber in it, which is...
so that's ambergris.
Yeah, ambergris. Okay, cool.
So it's that mistiness. A lot of people don't use, or hardly any perfumers use actual ambergris now, which is so expensive, so difficult to find, and it takes a long time to actually be able to use that into a perfume. So a lot of people are using synthetic notes now, which give the same sort of impression. And ambergris is a really difficult one to explain how it smells, other than saying it's like sort of sea mist. So you get that saltiness, but there's also a dryness, that almost dry misty smell you get. So it doesn't smell like rain mist or the mist you'd find in a wood, or it's definitely seaside mist.
Yeah. It's almost like with like like heliotrope in a women's fragrance, it kind of gives a gust of air, and ambergris it can be quite airy.
It gives space, I think.
Space, yeah.
And it probably wouldn't work if you just had a fragrance that smelled of that. I don't know that you'd get that much from it, but it's one of those ingredients that within a perfume, it reacts with the others. It's a bit like a seasoning almost.
Yeah.
So it's like using salt in cooking.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just eat the salt on its
No,
own.
exactly. But it gives something else.
It brings something else to the other ingredients.
Leanne, vanilla is very popular in a men's fragrance. Yeah, it is.
We're really noticing that.
I think it kind of it adds a kind of depth that isn't necessarily normal in men's fragrance. You know, vanilla you smell in women's all the time, but I think it kind of adds another element to men's fragrance, which is quite nice, and it also can work quite well with fruit, with citruses and with herbs and stuff.
It's very good at smoothing corners of other notes in a fragrance, and it works really well on the skin as well, because I guess it sort of smells a bit like skin, and it's that
sweetness, like
sweet,
skin
clean
scent.
Skin. We are finding that there are a lot more choices now for men. I don't know if you are a man and you disagree, do let us know. But we think slowly the men's market is opening up to give greater diversity. So you have got more gourmands, you've got more florals in fragrances for men.
Yeah, there's a lot more kind of like different scents coming out for men, definitely. I mean, I suppose also the idea that, you know, like, people are just kind of getting rid of gender to do with fragrance anyway, which I think is very fair, because you know, it was all just invented anyway. Like, fragrance never really had a gender, but I think more and more it's just kind of like everything's just like, you know, genderless or unisex, you know. And I think there are really no rules, but also in the men's sector there are a lot more interesting scents. I think for so long everyone just kind of gave them one type of scent, which is really like stunted and crazy really when you think about it.
It is massively.
Please send your product to the Netherlands. We wish we could. We honestly do. It's a massive pain, but the postal service is one of our greatest enemies, and they will not allow us to ship outside the UK.
And what have you got to say about Viva La Juicy Noir, about gifting, if you can suggest some for a girl?
Oh yeah, I think Viva La Juicy Noir is quite a good one. I mean, it's kind of like, it's quite young, it's quite like, you know, fun.
So fun.
And they're great bottles as well. They're really fun
Really
bottles.
cool
So I'm just going to scroll up because I think there were a couple. Harris 004, how about Molecule 01 or 2 for summer? I would actually suggest 02 for summer out of those two, because it's kind of the bright citrusy one.
Yeah, I think 01 is more of a snuggly, comforting fragrance.
Yeah. So which ones from the box are good to share? Okay, so I would say personally, I would wear that. I would wear the Michael Kors Extreme Speed. And I would certainly wear the Mont Blanc Legend Night, which we're about to go through.
And also the Goo Towel Bois d'Atrium.
Yep. And what else?
There's also the Alien.
There's an Alien for women as well, actually. Which there's a
which
kind of like
popped in your box.
A scent strip, so you can try that.
You can smell the original.
And then also that Cheyenne Blue I would wear. And there was a bunch that we went through last week, and there's quite a few of those which I would say, you know, would easily be shared or
Part 1
or smell great on a woman.
We went through Coeptis, which we both thought that we would like to wear.
It's really, really good.
It's really lovely, really smooth, really interesting.
Yeah.
Have a look at the video for part 1 to see the reviews. We did Dunhill. Actually, I think I said I'd wear that one.
Yeah, Dunhill's
really
great.
The racing green.
I think that, you know, like, you've got to remember that they're not going to smell the same on a woman as they are on a man. I think, you know, like, it's all about trying it on yourself. Like, you know, my granny used to wear Old Spice, and personally for me, it's like, that does not smell great. But on her, it smelled fantastic. It smelled phenomenal, you know. I think it's all about just trying things and finding what smells good on you as well, because, you know, a lot of men's scents take a new role on a woman, you know, and that kind of, that harshness on a sensual, but, you know, it kind of brings out a sensuality in it sometimes.
Yeah, you can make things yours, I think. You've just got, if you like it, if you feel confident wearing it, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. And so many fragrances these days, especially niche and more expensive fragrances, are saying that they're unisex or gender free or gender fluid. And that's the way fragrance is going. Why should you be dictated to? Wear what you want to.
No, yeah, exactly. There are no rules. Okay, so this one is by Cheyenne Blue, and it's this one's Kingswood.
Kingswood.
That we're about to smell.
This is a really interesting one. Now, this one isn't out until September, by the way, so you're getting an exclusive preview in our box if you buy the New Man Discovery box on the perfumesociety.org website. And this is what we're doing today. We're unboxing and smelling part 2 of the fragrances. And this is, I think the first thing you get is pineapple in this, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
and
fresh and juicy. Yeah,
on the skin it's really juicy.
Really juicy.
I'm really liking that. you know, almost like a, if you've ever smelled like a Ventus that has like pineapple in the top, but this one's kind of a, it's a bit more of a woody variety, you know. Ventus is quite clean and like fresh.
And this is, so they use wood in this, but unusually this is English oak. So normally you'd get cedar wood or sandalwood or an exotic wood. And Shea and Blue are trying to go for something a bit more unusual here. And using that English oak, I think it's very dry, I would say. But you really know what? Dry.
On now that I've just put it on the skin, honestly, it's like super soft, very like approachable.
Yeah.
It's got some Szechuan pepper in the middle, doesn't it? Which is kind of like it's like sparkly, almost like
it gives a fizz.
A fizz, yeah.
And some fern leaves as well. So this is actually, I wonder what they classify this as, because it's kind of a fougere, it's kind of woody, and then it's got that citrus freshness, but none of them are the usual ingredients that you'd use in that family of fragrances. So really, really unique.
Very unique. Yeah, I think it's like a kind of like fruity, fresh. It's very enjoyable, actually, if I'm going to be honest.
It really is.
It's quite playful for a men's fragrance, which I quite
Yeah,
like.
playful is a really good word for it. And it will take you on a journey. It's one of those fragrances, again, giving a fragrance time, it will take you somewhere different from where you first smelled it.
Yeah, sorry, so anyone just joining, it's like that was Shea and Blue Kingswood, which isn't out until September, but you can smell it as a kind of like pre-smell in our box. All right, so now we're going to go on to Mont Blanc Legend Night. And I really love this one. It's
that is so good.
It's really good.
You went to the launch for this one.
I did go to the launch for this one. And I was talking to the really, really handsome model who's the face of, and I asked him how it felt to be the face of a legend. And it was a great launch. The perfumer is really, really cool. And I know that he was trying to. It's a flanker of the original Mont Blanc Legend, but I think this one he was trying to bring some kind of dark sensuality to it rather, and like it's a lot more rich than the original Legend, which is quite light and fresh. This is kind of.
A bit more resinous, I'd say.
Yeah, a little bit more resinous. Yeah. It's a little sweeter because it's got some vanilla, but it's also like with patchouli and musk and stuff. So it's kind of like a soft come hithery thing.
It's really comforting. I think
it's very comforting.
It's snuggleable.
It's a very snuggleable one. It's a definitely like kind of smell again. It's quite moreish, and I would say that it's almost like I mean, like the back of like a dark nightclub, that kind of vibe. I'm like,
a secluded
corner of a dark nightclub. No, I'm a big fan of that, and I have it at home and I wear it often, so that's a good use.
Again, you can wear these things. You know, look at the notes. Yes, try it on your skin. Most importantly, try it in the morning. See if you like it. Then you might like it further on during the day. You might like it after an hour or so when the top notes have dried down, and really get to know it. Keep smelling it. What are you thinking? How's it making you feel?
So this one also has some violet in the heart, which kind of gives it this kind of like soft powderiness, and then it's got like a kind of trio of herbs at the top, which are just quite classic, like bergamot and cardamom and sage and stuff. But
really, really good.
I'm a big fan.
Love that.
Right, what else do we have?
Ted.
Okay, so Ted Baker. This is his cologne from Ted's Grooming range.
Ted Baker actually have, and I didn't know this until fairly recently, they have, I think it's 1 or 2 grooming salons for men. So, and it's that traditional sort of Turkish barbershop vibe. So you can get one of those amazing hot towel shaves, and they give you oil treatments and scalp massages.
I bet they do that ear thing with the flame as well.
That looks that always looks absolutely
If you've ever seen anyone doing that, it's really, really
I'm sure
strange.
It's great, but it looks terrifying. But this is that kind of vibe in a fragrance, but modernised.
So yeah, it's trying to be like a kind of traditional Turkish barber vibe, basically.
Now that has really changed on the blotter from when we first sprayed that. It's
almost quite. It's got like a little bit of bitterness at the top because it's got grapefruit and petitgram, which is the leaf of the orange tree, right?
Yeah. It's the small fruit before it's fully formed. I think. But yes, it's ultra green, bright,
little
sparkling.
bit bitter, but yeah.
I'm getting more of the black pepper now, and I think there's some frankincense in there as well.
Yeah,
so
there's
it's
like
a lightly smoky vibe.
Yeah, there's a little bit of saffron as well. So it's like a kind of like spicy, smoky. It's quite addictive. Actually.
It is actually
kind of going back.
Yeah,
to
sorry, we're just being quiet while we're just smelling away here.
So in the base there's some musk and vetiver as well. So the vetiver will give it that kind of like hot, like dry smokiness. But that
there's
I think
some
is a winner.
exoticism.
It is exotic,
there.
yes.
Yeah. But again, that would be a really easy one to wear, I think. You could definitely wear that to work. You could enjoy those bright, crystallised sort of top notes at first.
And then
it would get more interesting as the day goes on. So that was Ted's Grooming Room cologne, which we were just smelling there.
And
to go with...
Finally, so to go with that product, Ted Baker have been kind enough to give us a travel size now. Hand for size. It's about the big of my hand, and it's a really good size, 75ml. It's the shave gel. I mean...
Well, we can spray some, why not? Oh, Lord. Okay. That's quite a lot. Maybe I won't.
Gel. But that's kind of like... I know that it's got citruses and spices in it, basically. But
that's lovely. I think that would be a pleasure to use, actually.
It's a lovely one,
and it's got vitamin E in it as well. So
it's meant to be like really soothing for your hands and for your face and stuff,
or legs if you're borrowing it, ladies.
Oh yeah, I never use shave gel for my legs, but actually it's quite a good idea. Isn't it?
I think that would be a great one to use. I mean, I suppose we could have lathered up a leg here for you, but we thought we'd spare you and just smell it. Oh, that's really nice, and it really smells like
really
cologne.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
So try laying those.
Thanks. We were just going to kind of go over some like top tips of like how to buy fragrance for men as well. Yeah. Since we're doing our new man box. Susie has just written a piece on site, which you can find if you go to the Perfume Society, just perfumesociety.org. There's all of our blog pieces and stuff, and it was
how to buy fragrances for men, basically. So it's more of an idea if you're gifting, maybe looking at Father's Day or a fragrance to your partner.
Yeah.
And what are the questions that you ask? How do you know if he really likes it?
How do you go about buying one?
How do you begin?
It's madness out there. There's so many launches, and how do you get around to all of the shops, even department stores? You kind of like go and there's only those limited brands that they sell there. It's a minefield, basically. So we thought we'd give some top tips. I would say that basically, although, you kind of can go on hobbies, I wouldn't say that it wouldn't be suggested, basically. Like, just because your man is sporty.
Stereotyped.
Doesn't necessarily mean that he'll like a sporty fragrance, He might be into something like gourmandy or... I don't think what you do necessarily tells you about what fragrance you like.
And I also think a lot of men, especially older generation men, I think probably the younger generation, sort of 20s, or maybe 30s downwards, are much better at this. They're much better at trying new things and going into a shop, and they have that confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone like my dad, or even my brother. Or...
my boyfriend won't do it. Like, he won't go into store and shop for a fragrance. Like, I just,
And they don't know where to begin, and perhaps don't even know what they like, because I think a lot of men end up wearing what Auntie Mabel gave them 3 Christmases ago, and they thought it was sort of all right, and they didn't hate it, and that's what they wear for the rest of their lives. And it's really sad.
I did
open up your mind.
I did a little like poll of my friends, basically, and I asked like all of my male friends how they buy fragrance, and pretty much all of them said, I wear what I'm given. And so a couple of them, for their birthdays, I've kind of bought them one of our men's boxes and been like, here, it's your step to freedom. You don't have to be confined by what someone else thinks that you smell like.
Carlson was saying in the last video, you had a really nice idea about Father's Day, about buying one of these boxes and then perhaps suggesting to your dad or your partner, whoever you're giving it to, choose one from there and I'll buy you the full size, but I want you to try them all and really make sure you love it.
And then that way you know that they're going to love it.
Yeah.
You know, they've, tried it on their skin. They probably have happy memories associated with it because you gave it to them.
And it's such a joy to go through and discover. Maybe come out of your comfort zone a little bit and try things that you wouldn't normally look at in a shop, or you don't always have access to a fragrance shop or department store near you.
I would also say that if you're going shopping with a guy for fragrance, keep... I have to do it with my boyfriend all the time. Keep looking at his face because normally he'll just say that he likes everything, and I know that it's not actually true. Yeah. So look at their expression after they've smelled something, because you really can't hide it straight away. You just it's a jerk reaction. Yeah. And that will usually give you a kind of.
And James Craven of Les Senteurs says to look at the eyes, because he says when people come into the store, often they're a bit embarrassed to say, "Oh, I don't like it," or "Oh, I love it." So you just look at the eyes, and when someone's eyes really light up, you can tell that is the one, that is doing something to them, something special, and that's the one for them.
Also, just another top tip, if it is for something really special, is maybe book them a fragrance consultation, because they do really lovely fragrance consultations. It's kind of, they go and ask you a bunch of questions about your life and about your memories and things like that, and then they kind of give you some recommendations on fragrances that you might like. And there's loads of places around the around the UK that do them. So there's Creed in London, they do them. Atkinson's is a fantastic one. Penhaligon's, Floris. Also there's a shop called Les Senteurs, and this guy James Craven is just remarkable, and he does amazing fragrance fittings, and they're just a really, really lovely experience, and you'll come out with something that you just didn't even know that you loved. So that's a good idea. And then also I know that the Perfume shop have just started doing them nationwide for people going to get married, basically. They do joint fragrance consultations, which is a really nice idea.
That's lovely. And a lot of the bigger department stores are starting to get a lot better. So if you ask your local department store, do they do fragrance consultations, they may have an expert, or a brand may have an expert. Put you on
someone. Cool. Well, I think that's kind of it for today. Thanks so much to everyone who tuned in. Again, it was unboxing the New Man Discovery Box, which is in our link in the bio on Instagram, and it's also, if you go to theperfumesociety.org, you'll be able to find it in our shop. It's there's 13 men's scents, there's 2 kind of ancillary extras, and there's also this full size eccentric molecules body wash, which is great. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been such a pleasure, and take care. Have a fragrant day.
Bye.